Before we begin today's episode, I want to start with a quick apology. You may have noticed we missed our scheduled fortnightly release last week. Usually we pride ourselves on that consistency, but life, as it often does, intervened in a very dramatic way. 3 weeks ago, I was rushed into hospital for emergency surgery. What started as a sharp pain turned out to be a necrotic perforated appendix. When things move that fast, your world shrinks down to a single goal: survival. You don't have time to debate policy or politics. You just need a team that knows exactly what they're doing. The NHS is often criticised, but people always say they're terrific at the big things. My experience proved that it's an understatement. They saved my life. But as I spent the following days recovering, I started looking at the people behind the masks. I realised that the miracle of the NHS isn't just a British achievement, it's a global one. My care was a snapshot of what this country actually looks like when we are working at our best. Of course, there were dedicated British doctors and nurses there, born and bred here, working tirelessly. But they were part of a seamless, international tapestry. I was treated by professionals who had come to the UK from India, Poland, Africa and the West Indies. I met staff from Bangladesh and Romania and a surgeon who had come from Iraq. And those are just the ones I know about. There were most likely many more. It was a beautiful, functioning ecosystem of skill. You had a nurse from Warsaw working alongside a doctor from the UK and a healthcare assistant from Lagos. In that ward, there was no us and them. There was only the patient and the team. My treatment and my recovery were only possible because of that specific, diverse mix of talent. That's why it's so jarring to step back into the real world and hear the noise coming from the hard right. While I was being healed by this global workforce, the internet was filled with anti-immigration rhetoric and, frankly, blatant racism. We hear politicians and pundits talk about immigration as if it's a national catastrophe. They use words that are designed to make us afraid of people who don't look like us or who weren't born here. They paint immigration as a drain on our resources. But here's the truth I saw 3 weeks ago. Those outsiders they rail against are the ones keeping our insiders alive. It is a massive hypocrisy to enjoy the safety of a world-class health service while supporting movements that demonise the very people who staff it. When we talk about stopping immigration or cutting numbers in a vacuum, we are talking about stopping the hearts and hands that keep our hospitals beating. 3 weeks on, I'm back on my feet, and I'm acutely aware that I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the surgeon from Iraq, a nurse from Poland, and a team of UK-born staff who all see each other as equals. This excellence is only possible because of immigration, a positive element that is too often eclipsed by hate. The next time you hear that rhetoric, remember the big things. Remember that when your life is on the line, you don't want a British-only ward. You want the best hands in the world. I'm alive because of that global community. We should be thanking them, not debating their right to be here. You've been listening to The Book of Refugees, a production by the Department of Language and Linguistic Science at the University of York. Research for this episode was drawn from NHS England's workforce data, which continues to show that our health service is a global achievement. This episode is written and narrated by me, Hugh Jones. Thank you for listening to the stories that often go unheard. We'll be back with more soon.